Hey everybody, Pete Warner here with this week's episode of DCL Fan, your source for Disney Cruise news and reviews. Today we are on board the Disney Wonder, and more specifically at Tiana's place. And it's Mardi Gras night, so we have some fantastic entertainment that we've been enjoying as we're getting ready to have our meal. And looking forward to see how this meal is. In the past, it's been quite good for me. I don't know about for you, but for me, I've had good experiences on this particular night of a 7-night cruise. So we'll find out. But before we get to it, just a reminder, this review is brought to you by DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com. And if you like our content, please show your support booking your next Disney Cruise Line vacation with Dreams Unlimited. You're going to pay the same price you pay if you go directly through Disney. You're going to get a shipboard credit up to $1,000, and you're going to get the services of an amazing agent who's going to help you with every step of your vacation. So please show your support, DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com.
The kitchen is home, but I'll let you all have heard enough from me. And Dan wants to keep things simple here. So family and friends, the crawfish cruise.
Going down while you pull together down here, that's what we do. Me for them and them for me. Wow, be there.
Okay, so for my meal, I ordered the Boudin sausage fritters, minced pork with Boudin sausage, breaded and fried, served with a bourbon aioli. These weren't bad. They were kind of on the bland side, which is something I was not expecting. They had the consistency. If you've ever had arancini, which is an Italian rice ball deep fried, it had that kind of consistency to it. They kind of fell apart when you cut into them. And like I said, they weren't bad, they just weren't memorable. I thought with a bourbon aioli, they would have more of a kick to them, a little more flavor to them. But not so much. Now I also got Mama Odie's creamy tomato soup with chopped cilantro. This was very good. In contrast to the French onion soup I had a few nights ago, this came out hot, this came out delicious. Great tomato flavor. Cilantro added a nice touch to the flavor profile. It was very creamy. You could tell it was a cream-based tomato soup. It was really very good. Now for my main course, I was torn between the roasted Creole half chicken and James's roasted pork tenderloin. So the server, our server G, ended up bringing both for me, and both of them were kind of on the same wavelength as the Boudin balls. They were okay. Nothing special about them. The chicken was a little overcooked, but still had some moisture to it. But there was nothing special about it. The roasted pork tenderloin was on a bed of onion, celery, and peppers, roasted peppers, which definitely infused some flavor into it. When you bit into the tenderloin, you could taste those flavors. So that did give it some flavor, but it was, I have to use the word, very pedestrian. Very pedestrian. What was not pedestrian, what made this restaurant, in my opinion, the best of the rotational restaurants that Disney has on these cruise ships, and I'm including the Wish, where the entertainment was absolutely first rate, was the show that they put on tonight. Engaged this entire dining room from the very beginning. As you sat down, they were playing, people were clapping along, people were engaged with them. When they do their big show, where it's a parade around the restaurant of the servers, and they start grabbing people from tables to join them and dance around the restaurant. That energy with the phenomenal music, I really can't say enough about it. I'm sure we have some video playing right now showing some of that. I'm sure we're going to be putting some video up so you can hear the music and how great it was. But for as mediocre as the meal was, that entertainment was first rate. Absolute first rate. As was our service tonight. I will say, our servers redeemed themselves from the other night. They've been on their game. G and Z are our server team. And they've definitely redeemed themselves. So, I mean, overall, while I thought the food was mediocre, I'm walking out of here feeling great. That's how good the entertainment and the service was.
So tonight we're at Tiana's, and I love this movie and I love this restaurant. I just think that the atmosphere is the coolest thing. And so it's Mardi Gras night, and so everything is Mardi Gras. We have beads. This menu, I have to be honest with you, I was a little scared of it because I don't like any spice whatsoever. I'm super wussy when it comes to spicy anything. So Cajun, andouille sausage, all of that kind of freaks me out a little bit. But the server assured me that nothing was spicy. So I ordered the sauteed Gulf shrimp and grits, and it has andouille sausage, grilled green onions, and a smoked barbecue sauce, which was kind of intriguing. And I have to say it was delicious. So I love shrimp, and, you know, so that worked for me too. But the andouille sausage wasn't spicy at all, and the grits were really awesome. So they were just, you could really taste the cheese, and they were really creamy. So they weren't like, I'm not from the South, so I don't really know what grits are supposed to taste like, but I know that they're not supposed to be gritty. So these were really creamy and delicious. Then let's see, I also got the Mama Odie's creamy tomato soup, which was also really good. Came with chopped cilantro sprinkled on the top, which I'm a big fan of cilantro. So anytime you add that to anything, really good stuff. So loved that. And then for the entree, I got James's roasted pork tenderloin. It's what it was. It was sliced pork tenderloin with white rice and greens, but then it was served on an andouille sausage stew, and most of the flavor in that entire dish came from the stew that the pork tenderloin was sitting on. Because andouille sausage, while it wasn't spicy, it was really flavorful. So if you order that dish in this restaurant, you got to take a bite of the stew and the sausage that was in it with the pork, and then I think you'll like it. There was a little bit of spice in it, but it was good to me. I really liked it. I thought it was done really well. And I always am a big fan of white rice for whatever reason. So that was really good, and I enjoyed my meal here. But the show, what a showstopper. I mean, it was great. The characters were awesome, and I love that they brought the alligator. I can't remember his name from the movie. Lewis. So fantastic. Just dancing his way through the restaurant. It was so cool. Loved every moment of this restaurant.
I have to say, of the three, the dining rotation, the Tritons, Tiana's, and Animator's Palette, Tiana's is definitely my favorite. I just like the atmosphere. I thought the band that was playing here was phenomenal. The one other time I've been on the ship, the band that was in here was also phenomenal, but completely different members this time. But the everybody up there on stage was fantastic. I thought Tiana was wonderful to see her with Lewis. I love Lewis. I love how excited he is to be able to play his instrument. But for dinner, which is what I'm talking about, I ordered several items. I started with the Boudin sausage fritters, which I saw everybody kind of get. You know what? I remember enjoying these before, and I gotta say they were just very, like bland. They weren't like, it wasn't like they were bad. They just didn't really taste like anything. So I don't know. Maybe mine didn't really have a ton of the sauce on it. So maybe I needed more of that bourbon aioli. And then I got a salad as well. I went with an iceberg wedge, and that had pepper jack cheese, bacon, tomato, basil, and a creamy Thousand Isle dressing. And there was a lot of Thousand Isle dressing on it, but it's a wedge salad. You're not inventing the wheel. I liked it because it had the pepper jack cheese on it. So, because I'm basic. And then my dinner, that was the James's. Nope, that wasn't it. My dinner was a roasted Creole half chicken with toasted corn, pecan bread pudding, buttered chard, and chicken zouse. The buttered chard was awful. I hate the taste of the chard. I don't know what I was thinking. It was very bitter, and but the chicken was fine. It was a nice piece of chicken. It didn't really taste much, but I gotta say the toasted corn, like the little cornbread pudding thing that was on the plate, that thing was delicious. I really enjoyed that. And then for some reason our servers keep dropping random dishes at our table, which is very nice of them because they know we want to try everything. So they dropped over the Edora's artichoke ravioli with sauteed spinach, lemon butter, sage, and pecorino cheese. And it was actually pretty good. I don't really have a lot to say about it because I don't know what to say about an artichoke ravioli. You know what a ravioli tastes like? Do you know what artichoke tastes like? Boom, put them together. You got it. You got it. So they were. It was good. It was unoffensive, and it was good. So if you're looking for the vegetarian meals, it was good. That's it. That's all I got. That's all she wrote for Tiana's place.
Tonight's dessert menu at Tiana's had beignets. Now, Elaine and I had beignets during happy hour at French Quarter a couple mornings ago, and they were kind of just like rolls, and they weren't like warm or anything. They were just kind of okay. So I wanted to try the dessert ones here, and our server said that they were the same beignets, except that these ones were fresh, which they were fresh. They were really, really good. So they were a little bit warm. The powdered sugar on the top was really good, and it was like crusty kind of, and absolutely delicious. They were really dense, so not like your typical beignet, but I don't know, dense is always good for dessert in my book, so loved them. I'm full to the top, and this whole meal was really awesome.
For dessert, I went with Mama Odie's white chocolate bread pudding with a praline sauce and vanilla ice cream. I'm not sure where the praline sauce came in, but it is a pretty good bread pudding. I am going to say that. It is like really good. I don't know that I really get a lot of the white chocolate in it necessarily, but I love bread pudding, so it passes my test of that. I feel like it's the right consistency. Made that noise when you went to stick your spoon in it, and then you rethink everything decisions you've ever made in your life. It's like when you, I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's you know what? I'm happy.
Okay, so for dessert, I also had the beignets along with the New Orleans Bananas Foster Sundae. He brought that to me. I didn't order it, but this server team has been big on bringing multiple different things beyond what you just ordered so you can try different things. The beignets were delicious. They were fresh, as Jackie said. They were dense, but I liked that. The table next to us is having a really good time, so if they're bleeding over into this, just roll with it. They were dense, but I liked that. They were very fresh though, so yay on the beignets. Bananas Foster Sundae. Ice cream with bananas in it. It's really what it was. Nothing to write home about. Not terrible, obviously, but nothing to write home about. And, you know, the food has ranged from, on this cruise, has ranged from in the dining rooms. Mediocre to really not good at all. This definitely is in the mediocre range as far as food goes. But as I mentioned, that entertainment really, really made this experience. But overall, had a great time here, thanks to those incredible entertainers. And that'll do it for this week's review of Tiana's Place on board the Disney Wonder. And we hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week with another episode of the DCL Show. Have a great week.